Hello and welcome to Post to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey. Today I'm here with my friend Justin. Once again, he's come back to the show. Justin, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for allowing me to come back.
No problem. Today we're going to talk about the status of the status of the NHL going to the Olympics, and more specifically the Canadian team going to the Olympics and what their roster may look like next year. So, Justin, first I guess I'll just ask you, what are your thoughts on the Olympics in general, and do you think the NHL should be a part of it?
Well, I used to have the argument that the NHL shouldn't be a part of it, and it should be just strictly for amateur athletes, right? But, the NHL has been going to the Olympics consecutively, for quite some time now. And, since it first happened, wow, my interest in the Olympics shot through the roof, because suddenly, these stars that I idolized in my younger days are now playing at the Olympic level, representing their country. It was amazing hockey. It was fast, intense, in your face, because what better motivation to play at your best than representing your own nation, right? And it really made for an amazing, 2 weeks the Olympics goes?
Yeah.
So it was an amazing 2-week experience. And I really hope that the NHL does participate in the upcoming Olympics in 2018. But for the first time in many, many years, I'm actually scared that the NHL will not participate. And sadly, it all comes down to money, right?
Yeah, it does.
And it's just a sad, sad reality, because the NHL is looking at it as, okay, if we do participate in the Olympics, we're going to have to shut down our season for a 2-week period,
Yep.
which means that, they'll still have a full 82 games, but it'll be insanely condensed. So the players will have to agree with that, and you'll be seeing a lot more back-to-back matchups than we see already. And the biggest argument from both sides is, okay, who's going to cover the costs here to send all these NHL players overseas to the Olympics, as well as insurance in case one of these star players gets injured at this tournament?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big issue too. The owners look at the players as almost a herd of cattle that, that they're basically milking for many years until the value is gone.
Yeah.
And say if a Sidney Crosby goes overseas and he gets injured at the Olympics, well, what exactly happens? He's not able to play with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He is not there to represent the organization. Maybe, sales of specific merchandise, Crosby related, goes down. Owner loses money. He's now not so happy.
Yeah.
So it's all dollar signs, ladies and gentlemen, as to why the NHL may not participate. But I guarantee you, if you talk to any NHL player, and they would be there within an instant to represent their country at the Olympics.
Yeah, all the players want to go, I think. And the owners obviously don't want to go. It's like you said, it's a money issue. It's a risk issue, and they just don't want to. They want to take the risk, because it's, in the long run, it could be devastating for their season. So I understand both sides, but I share the same opinion as you. I definitely want to see NHL players in the Olympics. I think the excitement is unmatched. Well, obviously, NHL playoffs, probably a little more exciting than that. But, to see the best hockey players in your country represent your country at the Olympics is one of the most special things you could ever watch on TV as a hockey fan. So
Definitely.
if we didn't get to see that, I would be mighty disappointed. But regardless of who plays in the Olympics, I'll be watching.
Yeah, guaranteed. When it comes to hockey, whether it's international hockey, NHL hockey, I'm always a viewer.
Yeah, definitely. I even watched the Spengler Cup.
Spengler Cup. Yeah, of course.
It's a good little competition.
Yep, definitely.
So let's transition on to assuming that Canada will be going or the NHL, will be going to the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
What do you project Canadian roster to be? Let's hear your forwards first.
Okay, well, first I want to say I had a lot of fun with this. Almost too much fun, to the point that I was several hours going through players, stats. I was even looking at their production on previous Olympic appearances, or as well as anything international related in a tournament that they participated in. And there was a lot of guys that really stood out and kind of shocked me when I really got into the meat of their stats playing at international level. So for my forwards, for my captain, I have Sidney Crosby. Shock.
Yeah, he's going to be the captain.
Come on. He's going to be the captain of this team if they do participate in 2018. And for his wingers, I have Marchand and Bergeron. And we did see that chemistry previously when they did play together to represent Team Canada. And that chemistry was instant and was very successful.
Yeah,
so I say go with it.
Yeah, that's a good line.
And my next line, I have Jamie Benn, Connor McDavid, and Tyler Seguin.
Yeah, I was wondering if you're going to put the Benn and Seguin together.
Yeah, Benn and Seguin have to stay together. I mean, come on. These guys have been playing together for how many years now? And their chemistry is next to none, and they are a power duo in the Western Conference. So why not use it to Canada's advantage? My third line, I have Stamkos, Tavares, and Jeff Carter.
That's
and Jeff Carter was a little on the fence at first when I started looking at players. But then when I really dug into his international statistics, oh man, it was a no-brainer then. And just based on his previous appearance at the Olympic level and whatnot, it just became loud and clear that he has to be on this team.
Definitely.
For my fourth line, and what's sad is, like, come on, these guys are not fourth-line players. I have Taylor Hall, Jonathan Toews, and Nathan MacKinnon as the fourth line. And the two notables I have that could rotate in and out depending on injuries, I have Claude Giroux and Logan Couture.
Yeah, I was wondering if you're going to choose Logan Couture. I saw a few people. I was looking at online of some projections and stuff, and unfortunately I didn't include him in mine. But
I'm interested to see who you got.
It's hard to pick. I mean, there's so many good players, but I didn't go as far as you in line combinations or anything. So I'm just going to read who I chose. So
nice.
Crosby, Stamkos, Bergeron, Jonathan Toews, Jamie Benn, Tavares. I did pick Duchesne, Seguin, McKinnon, McDavid, Carter, Marchand, Scheifele, and Hall.
Scheifele.
So
interesting.
I didn't put them in any specific order. I'm not sure who the two extras would be. Probably Hall and Scheifele maybe. Duchesne's, I don't know. I remember watching the Olympics last year, and I felt that he had a really strong Olympic performance. So, who knows?
He did, and poor Duchesne, he's not exactly having a career year this year. But hey, no one on Colorado is, right?
No.
So don't judge poor Duchesne just from this year.
No, please
for the love of all things, he definitely deserves a better fate. But yeah, that's it's to the point where you could argue till you're blue in the face of who should be on Team Canada or who shouldn't. But in reality, Canadians are blessed, and we could easily ice two teams at the Olympics.
Good. I mean, we're seeing names on this list like Joe Thornton and Perry and Getzlaf, and there's so many other good players. I mean, Thornton's pretty old now. I don't know if he'd play even on the second Canadian team. He's a little over the hill, but
But hey, he picked up his 1,000th assist.
He did
just the other night. So the guy's still putting up numbers.
Yeah.
So into my defensive pairings, I have Doughty and Weber for the top unit. Second, I'd have Duncan Keith, Chris Letang. Third, I have Burns, Pietrangelo. And for the two notables, in case injuries and whatnot, I have Ekblad and Vlasic.
No Subban.
No Subban, and that was 100% intentional because Subban would be nothing but a distraction, I guess. His ego kind of shines through his on-ice performances. And I'm sorry, Subban, you do amazing things as a person off the ice. Your talent is through the roof, but man, you need to learn how to tone down your ego out there on the ice. And it really hurt you when I was selecting my pairings. And as of right now, you would never be on one of my international teams if I were putting together a roster.
Yeah, his ego is definitely very large, and he's a defensive liability.
Huge.
And that's why he didn't play the majority of the Olympic games in the last Olympics in 2014. He played one game. I think it was a preliminary game. I don't remember, but yeah.
Defensive liability. That's you couldn't have said it any better there.
Yeah, he's on my list, but he is as an extra because I just don't see him being the top guy. So I've got Weber, Doughty, Pietrangelo, Keith, Burns, Ekblad, Vlasic, and Subban. So my extras would be Ekblad and Subban.
No Chris Letang.
No Chris Letang. He's too old for me.
Too old?
Yeah, he's too old.
Wow. If Chris Letang is too old, I must be ancient.
He's too injury prone.
Injury prone, yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, I should have added a note. I have Chris Letang on my list if he's healthy.
Yeah, same thing with Stamkos with the forwards. If he's healthy.
Yeah, poor Stamkos. Okay, so for my goalies, the starter, shock, surprise, Carey Price. I mean, come on. How could you choose any other goalie? But to be honest, the only other guy who you could make an argument for would be Holtby.
Yeah.
And he's my second on the team. And I had a lot of difficulty deciding who the third string would be, just basically because of the emergence of Matt Murray lately. For the Pittsburgh Penguins, and I thought, well, hey, another year under his belt, Murray could really be that guy, but he's still really young, so I ended up going with Dubnyk.
Yeah, I chose Dubnyk as well. I was throwing around a few options, Crawford. He's had a ton of NHL success, and he was on the Olympic team, I think, last time, but I just felt that Dubnyk was the right choice. He's his age and his recent success and his numbers, and he's just, Dubnyk as a third-string goalie, you have a good team when...
Well, yeah.
And Holtby's your backup and Dubnyk is your third string. But if anyone has their position locked in on the team, it's Crosby as captain and Price as the starting goaltender.
Yeah, those would be the two locks for sure. Just to add another little note to it, I actually went as far as choosing who my assistant captains would be on the team. And the first would be Jonathan Toews. And, that's, to me, a no-brainer because his leadership qualities, to me, are really superior beyond his years
100%.
Already in the NHL. And my other assistant, I would want to be a defenseman, and that guy would be Drew Doughty. Hands down, my favorite defenseman in the NHL, Drew Doughty.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
He really is.
I remember watching the All-Star game. Oh, man, I think it was 3 years ago, and they were picking the teams and stuff, and he was one of the leaders of the team. He was the one making the decision who to pick, and he wasn't even paying attention. He was just laughing at the guys and stuff. He's pretty funny.
Yeah, if you YouTube sound bites that they were able to pick up with microphones on the ice, Drew Doughty, in between whistles talking to opposing players. Oh man, some of the things he says. Wow. Yeah, the guy's hilarious.
Well, thank you guys very much for watching. We really appreciate it. Let us know down below your Olympic lineup, or who do you think on our list shouldn't be chosen, or someone who was left off that should be chosen. Otherwise, if you're not subscribed, I hope you hit the subscribe button below. We're releasing lots of videos here pretty frequently. Otherwise, you can find me on social media at Post to Post Show on Twitter and Facebook. And Justin, where can I find you?
At JustinTheMan87 on Twitter.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you guys very much for watching. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next video. Adios.